Finding out who you are as an author can sometimes take a long time. It's not something that happens overnight. I've been writing for many years, and it's taken until now for me to make a very important realization. Hi there, my name is Tanya Stephenson, and I'm an independent author living in Canada. If you're interested in joining a great group of people to socialize with and just have a little writing chat with, please feel free to check out my closed Facebook group called Tanya's Writing Realm. When I first started writing books or writing stories, I knew right away that I wanted to write high fantasy. Part of me also wanted to write romance, maybe a little bit of erotica if I felt confident enough to do so. But honestly, up until now, I haven't really put in as much time as I wanted into becoming a high fantasy writer. So when I started my publication process and my journey, it was more on the crime thrillers and short stories and poetry and just smaller, shorter versions of high fantasy stories. But I really, really, really want to get that high fantasy out there. But I've been struggling. I've struggled with being satisfied with what I've written, the quality of the writing, feeling confident that I've portrayed the characters the way I want to. I've really been lacking confidence. Recently, I came to this decision where I wanted to do a little bit of a test. So I pulled out my Scrivener project. On one screen, I had my chapter 1 of Blood Rose, and I opened a new window right beside it, and I converted my third-person perspective to first-person perspective. Without a doubt, right away, I felt more confident in what I was writing. I felt like it was easier to communicate what I wanted to have showing up on paper. So then I sent out the comparison to a few people, a few family members, friends, and I had them read each version of half of chapter 1, and everybody liked the first person perspective a lot better than the third person. So then I really thought about, what have I done up until now, and why did I feel more confident publishing my crime thrillers, even though I know that, my skill has advanced since I first published it. We all advance as we get better and the more time we spend writing. And I realized everything else that I had published that wasn't high fantasy was written in first person present tense. I didn't think that this was a huge deal. When you think about yourself as a writer and you think about, if certain stories require or sound better in third person or first person, then that's what you switch to. But it didn't occur to me that a writer could be set and more confident in writing in one or the other. And so I've decided that first person is kind of my comfort zone. I feel like I can zone in more on the characters and really feel what the characters are feeling. And instead of writing third person past tense where I'm up here and I'm watching the characters but trying to communicate what they're feeling without actually being that character, I find that so difficult, and I don't know why. It should be very easy, I thought, because it's a very common perspective that people write in. However, now that I am here and I started writing my high fantasy novel that I've been writing and attempting and redrafting over and over for so many years, it just made things so much easier. Now I can hone in on the detail of each and every character, and I feel like I'm living through their eyes, and I can communicate everything that I'm seeing and feeling a lot easier. It's more fluid. It just makes a lot more sense to me. I feel like I'm ready to come off of this break. I've reached this point in my writing where I needed to step back. So for pretty much most of January, and well, it's already halfway through February, I haven't been writing. I haven't been focusing on my YouTube. I kind of reached this, I wouldn't say it's writer's block, because I'm full of ideas. I just didn't want to focus on anything. I couldn't focus on anything. And I think part of that is mental health. But now that I'm starting to come out of that zone, and I'm excited to write first person, and I'm excited to change my I don't know, 80,000 word novel so far, rewrite all of it in first person, I feel like I'm not going to be stuck anymore on it. I'm going to be more confident in what I'm writing, and I'm going to be able to continue forward, and hopefully, I'm not going to put a timeline on this, but very soon I'm hoping to actually get this novel finished and in editing, because this has been my dream for so many years. I started writing in books in 2009, and I started with the world of Elganthus, the high fantasy world that I've been dreaming about. But I have never reached that point of confidence, and now I think I'm finally there. I want to ask you, do you have a preferred or comfort level, or do you enjoy writing in a certain perspective that gives you that confidence that you need as a writer in your stories? Or are you comfortable switching, and how do you do that? How do you switch back and forth? I'm having a really hard time. I figured with high fantasy, it's more common to have a third person, past tense kind of perspective, but I did some research, and there are actually a lot of well-known novels in first person. I just haven't read any myself. So I need to find a good first person perspective, high fantasy novel, maybe adult level, that I can learn from, So that's what I need to do. So I'm excited about this. I'm anxious to move forward with my writing. I don't have much time to write right now. We're coming up to playoff season with hockey. My work is really busy. My health is a roller coaster as usual. And so there's lots going on, but I am going to gear down and make some time to write. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, night, or whatever, and happy writing.